Hi, welcome to Korean Foreigner. My name is John Lee, and today we're going to talk a little bit about a small forgotten chapter of Brunei's history. But before we get into that, let's rehash a little bit about Brunei, shall we? If the name Brunei sounds familiar to you, that's because early last year, Brunei was in the news for all the wrong reasons when the Brunei government passed a law that said that adulterers and homosexuals would be stoned to death. It led to an international outcry by human rights groups and Hollywood celebrities. It also led to my tweets on the matter to get a little viral, which allowed me to become a sort of a minor Twitter personality. After all of Hollywood made the ultimate sacrifice by refusing to stay at the Dorchester Hotel, the Sultan of Brunei placed a moratorium on the death penalty, and after that, everything went back to normal as everyone forgot about Brunei all over again. But that's enough rehashing of a very well known chapter of Brunei's history. As I said earlier, I want to talk about a little known chapter of Brunei's history. And this chapter that I want to talk about has to do with Sir Winston Churchill. Now, as you all know, Brunei is a conservative Muslim country that practices Sharia law. Now, if you know a thing or two about Islamic practices, you know that while the religion doesn't explicitly prohibit the depiction of human figures, some fundamentalist sects do frown upon that practice. But for 21 years, from 1971 to 1992, right at the heart of the capital city of Bandar Seri Begawan, there was an 8-foot tall statue of Winston Churchill. The building itself was in the shape of the letter C, and in the middle of this open courtyard, there was a statue of Winston Churchill giving a signature victory salute. Now, I used to love to go to this museum when I was a kid. There were smaller statuettes within the museum, and I remember distinctly that one of the statuettes showed Winston Churchill as a young boy playing with his toy soldiers. Other than the small statuettes, there were other memorabilia such as the hats that he wore, the canes that he carried, and there were also letters that he had written and signed. There was even one exhibit where if you pressed the green button, you could hear a segment of his "We shall fight on the beaches" speech. But the thing that I loved the most about that museum was that it housed Brunei's one and only aquarium. Now, if memory serves me right, that aquarium wasn't that big. In fact, it was probably the size of a small living room. But I remember just enjoying the hell out of that quiet, calm, air-conditioned aquarium and just not minding at all that the water wasn't exactly very clean. By the way, this might be a good time for me to inform all of you that while it's true that I was born and raised in Brunei, I haven't been back there since 2004, so some of the information that I'm providing in this video might be a little dated. So what happened to this museum? Why has it been forgotten? Well, the museum still does exist in Brunei, but it hasn't been called the Winston Churchill Memorial in 28 years. Since 1992, that building has now been called the Royal Regalia Museum. Back in 1992, feverish renovations took place at the Winston Churchill Memorial to reopen it as the Royal Regalia Building in order to mark the Sultan's Silver Jubilee. After the building was renovated, the statue of Winston Churchill was taken down and put into storage, where I believe it still is located. And as for the rest of the museum, it was converted from a building that was dedicated to the life and times of the former British Prime Minister and to a building that was dedicated to the life and times of the current Sultan of Brunei. Where there was once an open courtyard, there is now a huge domed structure. Where the statue once stood, there is now a huge golden chariot that the Sultan used while he paraded around the capital. All of the Winston Churchill memorabilia were removed, and now in its place, the entire museum is full of royal artifacts and gifts that the Sultan received to mark his Silver Jubilee. As for the aquarium, it's gone now. It only exists in people's memories. I don't know if any aquarium has been built ever since then. So that brings us to an important question. Why was there a statue of Winston Churchill in Brunei of all places? To know why, we have to turn back the clock a little bit. When this museum was built back in 1971, Brunei was still a British protectorate. In fact, Brunei didn't gain its independence until 1984, but the decision to build this Winston Churchill Memorial didn't come from some British colonial governor. It came from the current Sultan's father, who was a bit of an Anglophile. He had a bit of a bro crush on Winston Churchill, and that's the reason why this museum was built. Really, that's the reason. So now that we know why there was a Winston Churchill Memorial located in Brunei, why was it then later removed in 1992? There were several reasons for this. By 1992, Brunei had been an independent country for about 8 years, and it was a little embarrassing to have the statue of a former British Prime Minister in its capital city. Secondly, it also had to do with religion, but probably not in the way you think. When the Sultan's Anglophile father passed away in 1986, he decided to carve a more autonomous and self-aggrandizing course to mark his own rule. And of course, there's another reason why the Royal Regalia Museum was chosen to be built on top of where the Winston Churchill Memorial used to be. And that reason was for the Sultan to make sure that he would never get outflanked by the conservative clergy. The Sultan of Brunei has been in charge for more than 50 years, and he remembers what happened to the Shah of Iran, and he wants to make sure that that never happens to him. Alright, that marks the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to click on like and subscribe. And also, don't forget to leave a comment on what you thought about this video. My name is John Lee, and I'll see you next time.